Heat.
What's up, everyone? It's the Interview Queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch True Heel Heat.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3, and we are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for our WWE Saturday night's main event and Evolution 2 reviews, breaking down the two major shows from WWE this past weekend, but most importantly, what went down last night, because my girl Naomi is the new champion, and we got to talk all about it. But to do that, I am joined by a first-time co-host here on the channel. You know her from her great work writing for WrestleTalk.com. You've seen her on BodySlam.net's YouTube channel for the Raw review, for NXT review, and everything in between. She is Amanda Savage. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing so well. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to chat.
Yes. We're excited to have you. You do such great work all around, and you were one of the first people that I thought of to come with me today on this journey and talking about, especially last night's show, Evolution. I thought one of the best PLEs of the year. What did you think? Overall thoughts on last night?
Oh my goodness. It was not only one of the best PLEs, I do feel like it finally cemented, for me at least, that you can't say that you give the best stories the most time, because you just had hours of the most compelling storytelling that there is. So we should get to see that more. But I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I do think it was a good show. And I do think the crowd means a lot. I think it matters a lot, because everybody who bought a ticket was there to be supportive, wasn't going to try to no-sell these women, probably wouldn't think it was cute to sit there and pretend like they didn't care, whatever. So there was really, I think it was one of those special crowd reactions, like almost the Raw after Mania, where if you were to repeat this event, you could anticipate those and use that as a launching point for different storylines. So I think today's Raw is like much more, or I think this week's Raw and SmackDown are way more interesting to me because of last night.
100% agree, especially with how the show ended. So we're going to talk about that show first, and I'll save Saturday night's main event for when Amanda has to go so she doesn't have to suffer through that more than once. But yes, thank you all for joining us live. Thank you all for watching us on demand. Either way, show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping a thumbs up on this video. You could share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. We're closing in on 24,000 subscribers here on the channel, so we always appreciate you being a part of our community here, and we've had plenty of content for All In Week. This is the final stream of our All In Week schedule to cap off with talking about the WWE Premium Live events from this past weekend, so we've appreciated all the support this week. Been very humbled by all the support that we've gotten for all the streams this week, so it's been great. And of course, if you're watching us on demand, comment down below, let us know what you thought about WWE Evolution as well as Saturday night's main event in the comment section. And if you're with us live, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys and hear your thoughts on last night's show. And look at who came into the chat early before we went live. The good brother Luke Owen, who says, "Let's go, Amanda."
Thanks. Yeah, I did tell him that I was kind of nervous.
Oh, he told me you also. He said you also bullied him because we had to change the schedule.
Oh yeah, I said it was your fault, Luke. And if I get in trouble, if I get sass, I'm gonna throw it back up the hill, my friend.
Shout outs to Luke. He had me on the Wrestle Talk post show, the Wrestle Talk review of WWE Evolution. I told him after we were done, I was like, I've missed talking wrestling with Luke. Luke is so awesome. He's one of the most positive people in the wrestling media game, in the wrestling community in general. And I've always loved talking about wrestling with him ever since he invited me on the Wrestle Talk podcast all the way back in 2020. And I wouldn't be as far as I am in wrestling media or on WrestleTalk.com if it wasn't for Luke. So shout out to him.
Luke. Luke's the best.
We also got here, we got Chilling with Chase, who starts us off early with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Chase, for the support. A big one, too. We appreciate that. He says, LA Knight, yeah. Underdog Cash. Oh, and JC Jane at plus 170 free money. Yes, Chase is our official wrestling betting aficionado. He does good. He does good on the underdogs. He does very well.
Yeah. You can make more money doing it. You can bet more money.
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta.
I gotta get in on this. Yeah.
I'll connect you with Chase. I got you.
Yeah, Chase. Man, Chase. That Sammy Gunther, I felt like I could have made $1 million. Like I was so convinced at Mania, and then okay.
I love that. I love that. No, I love that. That is awesome. I would have made good money on JC Jane because as soon as they announced that they were doing the Knockouts Championship matchup at Slammiversary, I was like, Jordan's not winning.
Well, something is afoot here.
Yeah, he says he says 25,000 by end of September. Chase Nostradamus predicts. Wow. Okay. Look at that. Look at that. He's making the real money out here. And Luke's in the chat saying, love you guys. Love you, Luke. The best in the game. But yes, we got a lot to discuss from WWE Evolution. So we're going to start there with last night's show. Keep coming with those comments in the live chat. And of course, we'll highlight them on screen. But if you want to show your support, send a super chat donation and we'll make sure we read it out on screen with us. But how we start off these pay-per-view reviews, Amanda, give me one word, one phrase to describe your overall thoughts on WWE Evolution.
Iconic.
I like that. My one word, over-delivered. Over-delivered.
Yeah, totally. I think so.
One.
Yeah.
So we're going to start things off with how the show kicked off. Well, first we had Joe Testator, who was hosting from the crowd. He welcomes us to State Farm Arena in Atlanta, and he hyped up tonight's show. And then he brought up his co-host, who he said is partly responsible for the women's revolution, Stephanie McMahon.
She invented women's wrestling.
Won't be the last time you hear from her on this show.
It won't. I feel like Stephanie McMahon was a secret star of this event because she was here for the people.
You just kept putting her out there.
I just want to say, on the pre-show, I think the internet, we have collectively bullied Nikki Bella to the point that she didn't even attempt to say Stephanie McMahon's last name. She just called her Stephanie by her first name. She said it like 4 times. She was talking to Kathy Kelly. She did not say her last name. So then when Stephanie McMahon comes out, I was like, oh my God, is she going to mess it up too? Because I just feel like we've had a little bit of fun with Stephanie's name because everyone says it a little bit different. I think everyone's on the same page now. I think we're good. But yeah, Stephanie McMahon later in the night comes back around and shocks the world. So
shocker, right?
Now. You just have to tell them now. Oh wait, I guess not. No,
we're gonna see a lot of Stephanie McMahon on this show.
Yeah, she does come back around. She certainly does. Yeah,
says
Becky for sure. Becky is forever. It messes with me now, though. When I start to say it, I'm like, don't do that Nikki Bella thing. Please, sir, don't do it. So, I have an extra second mentally to make sure I say Becky. See, I don't know. Maybe I'm still saying it wrong. Who knows?
You're just going to mess yourself up if you try to say it like Nikki Bella.
No, it's gonna be bad. Yeah, Stephanie McMahon was there. Her knee-high boot game is on point. I don't know that she always has like a very similar look, but because it works, it's like I'm not mad at it. Like, yeah, crimp that hair, Stephanie McMahon. Like, I want to see, like, she has such a timeless look that I appreciate. That I don't think that many we don't have a lot of women in pop culture. Oh, hi. Do you have something to add to this? Oh, a meal. Okay. Yeah, he's working on creating healthy meals for Daniel Tiger. Sounds good. Yeah, get an apple, get a carrot, make that happen, buddy. Obviously I didn't click the door shut. So that's important to know.
No, we love the kid interruptions. We're known for that here. There are marks for my daughter in the chat, so don't worry. Don't worry at all.
Okay, well, there's a new cast of characters. But I definitely, it's not about her looks, but I do always want to give Stephanie McMahon props because she does have a timeless look. She doesn't try to go too over the top and like look, you know what I mean? I feel like she could be pressured into trying to have an age inappropriate sexiness for an event such as this. And she looked amazing and she did a great job. She's my favorite since I was a little girl, though. So I can talk about how amazing Stephanie McMahon is all day.
All right.
So member of the Debbie
I won't joke on her too much. So just for you, I won't joke on her too much.
Yeah, it's okay. You can if you want.
I really want to, but I won't. But yes, she said they had to prove with the first evolution that they deserved their own show, and now the women are regularly main eventing, and the depth through NXT was unbelievable. We then get our announcers, which is Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. What did you think about the all-male commentary team? Because that was one of my bigger nitpicks of this show, is that they needed more women on commentary, especially with all the legends that were in the house.
Yeah, I felt like that was one area that I really expected something different to happen. Like, I don't know how many of those little listicles I wrote where I was like, Alundra Blaze should be on commentary. Jazz should be on commentary. Like, I before Bianca was announced for to be a referee, I thought, like, I don't know, Bianca should be on commentary if she's still injured. Like, whatever it is, there should probably be. I just thought, I mean, we saw them sitting there, like, why? Maybe Molly Holly didn't want to be on commentary, right? Like, she could have been asked and she said no, but I was hopeful that there would be some sort of like like a Lita or like a, some sort of veteran presence that could share the experience of actually having lived this like evolution, because you can talk about it in sort of detached terms. But if like Brie Bella had been sitting there the whole time, able to throw in like anecdotes or something of that nature, I think it would have been nice. Where is Beth Phoenix? Stop hiding Beth Phoenix from me, people. I don't understand. Don't tell me someone's a free agent and then they just disappear, because I will keep putting them on every single list. She's signing to WWE and AEW sometimes in the same day. I don't know. I just want to find Beth Phoenix. Yeah, I kind of thought we would have. I almost thought Stephanie McMahon would be on commentary, to be honest.
Because wasn't it the first women's Royal Rumble she was on commentary?
I think so. Yeah. And then first Evolution, it was like Renee, Beth, and Michael Cole was the third. I guess that also
should have one.
Yeah.
At least one.
It kind of speaks to, though, I think there are, for how many amazing steps the company has made, there are still like these tiny pockets. And if you can't find a commentator in training who is a woman, then that means you will not have a commentary team that includes a woman for 10 years potentially, right? Because you're not necessarily going to be throwing somebody out on the main roster if they've been doing it for. I just think there's enough, there's enough freelance talent out there. Like there could have been a way to, I don't know, do a little something different. But that's an area of vulnerability for WWE. You might want to figure out if there's any ladies that you can hire to start making it happen for commentary, unless you're just dedicated to an all-male commentary team for the next good decade. But I don't know. That's an interesting thought.
And that's not what we need after the performance of some of the commentary on this show.
Okay, I will say, I think they were in their heads. I felt like very much this is almost like, this is the show for the internet to yell at us. Like, I think that they even kind of acknowledged it. I think they were scared to say the wrong thing. I mean, yes, I just did it too. I started to be like, Stephanie's so beautiful, which is like, no, bitch, that's the opposite of what this event is about. Do not talk about their looks. What are you talking about? But it's like, you got a default. And I felt like both Wade and sweet Maggle, it felt like they were waiting to get their balls busted by the internet, to be fair.
Michael had didn't have the best night. I think that's the safest way to say, right? I
think it'd been a long couple of days.
He's done a lot of shows.
He did, yeah. It's a lot.
But let's get into the opening contest, which was a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. You have Bayley, who came out first, to a huge reaction from the crowd. You also get Lyra Valkyria, where the crowd was loudly chanting, dun, 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 oh, dun, 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 yeah. Woo, dun, 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 woo. You also get Becky Lynch, who got a big reaction from this crowd as well, singing along with her song. And as soon as the bell rang, it was all vibes, Amanda, where the crowd just went absolutely crazy, just cheering, the roar of the crowd. They were very excited for this matchup here. And right off the bat, you got the story of the matchup where the bell rings and Bayley, after hyping up the crowd, she used the momentum to deck Lyra, who wasn't expecting it. Then you get Becky, who puts up the 4 horsemen symbol and is like, oh, just you and me, right? Just you and me. Come on, let's do this. The first few minutes had everyone kind of trading moves until Lynch suplexed Bayley into the barricade. More than 3 minutes after getting shoved into the steel steps, you get Lyra, who woke up and wipes out both women with a flying crossbody. You get some nice reversal and counters. There was some brawling on the floor. You get Valkyria hitting Becky with a big fisherman suplex, but Bayley broke up the cover with a perfectly timed flying elbow just coming in out of nowhere. That was awesome spot there where the crowd popped big for that. They got "This is awesome" chants. You get Bayley hitting a Lynch with a sunset flip powerbomb into an upside down Lyra in the corner for a 2 count. Lynch hit Bayley Bayley with a superplex, but Bayley repeatedly blocked attempts at submissions until Valkyria knocked down both women with a flying leg drop. This got another big pop and another "This is awesome" chant. Lynch followed up with a combo DDT and reverse DDT to both women, and then covered Lyra for a 2 count. Lynch and Lyra started trading counters until Lynch was able to hit the manhandle slam. She goes for the cover, but Bayley comes in out of nowhere to break it up. The camera quickly panned away from Bayley moments before, so you couldn't see her as she hit the ring to break it up. Then Bayley hits Lynch with the Bayley to belly, but then Lyra breaks up that cover, and we get our third "This is awesome" chant of the matchup. Then you get Lyra hit Becky with the Nightwing, but you guessed it, Bayley then broke up that cover, and the crowd started roaring for that. Then finally Bayley hits the Rose Plant on Lyra, and instead of breaking up the cover like the last 2 or 3 times, Becky comes in, she flies in and does the smoothest breakup where she gets Bayley right into a backslide for the 1-2-3 to retain the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. This was an excellent matchup with a very clever and innovative finish here. I thought I've never seen like a match end that fast with like the backslide right out of another pin cover. The crowd added so much to this. And one note that I got from like the crowd, and I put in my notes here, is that the crowd, you can hear like the voices of a lot. It was like high pitched noises where you can hear there's a lot more girls and women in the crowd for this show. And I think that added to their just wanting every match to be great, and this one was a great way to kick off the show. I do star ratings over here. My star rating, I give this 4.5 stars. This was excellent. I loved every minute of it. And of course, Becky Lynch is my newfound favorite because I am the Sports Illustrated in every Becky Lynch promo, and I appreciate her for that. Amanda, what did you think about the triple threat opener?
I don't know why I was surprised it opened, because it probably made the most sense, but I think it was an amazing way to start the show. It gave me a little bit of concern that it was so amazing that there could be the opportunity for the crowd to just like blue after that, because it was so good that it would be hard to keep your energy up. But that did not happen. Like, it really, I think that the crowd had a lot to do with the overall vibe and like, just the bigness of the show, because it could have felt smaller and it didn't. It very much felt like you weren't watching a second, like a kind of a second tier PLE, or like you didn't get the sense that you're watching an episode of TV that they threw on Peacock. Like, it very much felt like an event, and everyone was super engaged. I love that Becky retained, because I'm not exactly sure that I mean, it wasn't exactly what I expected. This whole this is the only hot take I have. I have 0 hot takes. I'm the most lukewarm take person of all time, but just like this is best.
Go ahead. This is why you're on True Hill Heat, to fit up your hottest takes.
I just I love her technical work. It's not about her wrestling abilities, but like, I feel that they have to add some depth to Lyra Valkyria's character for me. Otherwise, we are on a repetitious cycle of my friend turned on me, and it's like, hey, didn't she mess with you in NXT too? Kind of. I mean, like, I don't remember. I feel like haven't already seen this, but I feel like to some degree, okay, sister, get over it. I mean, like, they often talk about. So I have a hard time too, because I consider it very much like a TV show, and I think about it like Marvel. So I'm thinking about it like what's in canon. Like, if I'm a character in canon, what do I think about my other characters, type of a thing. And she, as a viewer, I get what her motivation is, but then also, without Michael Cole explaining the bird stuff, it's just like some random bird stuff going on. I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like it. And not everything's for me. Okay. It's okay. But my hottest take that I have is that I don't really F with Lyra Valkyria, and I don't have a good reason for it, because it's not about her technical work. It's like, I don't need her to have, I don't need it to be over the top. Like, I don't need it to be a Tatum Paxley where there's like a full makeup and like a prop and like a whole thing, you know? Like, I don't need her to be hitting me over the head with the bird stuff. But I just, if it's going to be integral to her entrance, then like, I don't know. But then, yeah, I don't know.
No, I've said it once. I'll say it a million times. The promo work and the character work for Lyra Valkyria, there needs to be some improvement. You gotta flesh her out and you gotta add more layers to her. But once the bell ring, I think she can go toe to toe with anybody.
Right. It's not about the wrestling at all. I think the wrestling is impeccable. I do think it's just like having that opportunity, and probably just on a bigger scale. I think there's a piece. They said a line in the pre-show where Jackie said that there was tons of women's writers. There's tons of women in the writers' room. And like, I don't know, maybe there is. I would like a name, because I need to know why every time there's a conflict between a younger talent and an older talent, the younger one only has about 2 things to pull out of her pocket. It's you're washed, you're old. Okay, well, cool. That's weird and rude. Or like, you're trying to hold me down. Okay, also not accurate in this case, because I don't think that we can conceivably say that Bayley is a character that holds younger talent down. That's patently false. So it's like her other, I think specifically to them, it was like, you guys are disappointments or something. It's like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta, I think there needs to be a more compelling motivation for her beyond, like, because it's almost like a don't underestimate me as well, but I don't think that has also been communicated. Like, who's underestimating you? See, I don't know. I think she's wonderful. I wonder if it's something where the character is not well defined as a separate entity from herself as a human being. Because it does feel, when even if she's trying to kind of deliver, like I do feel like in that promo she was trying to like be a little sassy or like be cutting, and it felt kind of disingenuous. So if she's meant to have an edge, it's almost like, remember when Roxanne Perez, everyone thought that was very disingenuous because she seems kind of sweet but was just like acting sassy, so it felt like it was fake. Like, it felt like there's a little bit of an element to that.
Yeah. No, I definitely get where you're coming from, and you even got Annika in the chat, one of our favorites, who says that's not too hot, that's just right. She's like, that porridge. She was like, that porridge tastes just right. Yes.
Yes. Okay, I do feel like the internet widely loves her, so I feel bad. Like, oh, you're gonna say something bad, everyone's gonna tell you that you're stupid, but like, no, I don't know. I can have an opinion.
Exactly.
Certified woman talking about evolution.
We do have another super chat donation here from Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says, please allow me to show my annoying but honest bias for my hashtag poor Bayley. My girl, hashtag poor Bayley. Still love you, girl. Thank you. And I'm done now. All 3 ladies delivered in this matchup. Bayley, I love the beginning with her taking out Lyra. And, you know, Becky is just a great heel, despite like the fans not always wanting to boo her. She's just great at giving you a reason to hate her. And like we said, Lyra's great in the ring. So this delivered big time. So then you had for the NXT Women's Championship, JC Jane with Fatal Influence versus Jordynne Grace. Before the matchup, they aired a clip earlier today that had Jordynne Grace asking Blake Monroe to be in her corner. And I was like, oh boy, isn't this like the most telegraphed thing ever?
I think that if you don't watch NXT, maybe you're like, I wonder what's gonna happen. But like, yeah, it was pretty. It was, I don't know. I think if you trust Blake Monroe, you gotta ask yourself a question regarding that.
Absolutely. This was a kind of a fine. It was more like a TV matchup. I mean, Jordynne Grace is just great in the ring. She goes for like this, it looks like she's going for a package power driver, but she goes into like a sit out power bomb. She did a fisherman suplex at one point. Jane was really good in this matchup, hitting a Hurricane Rana off the top. Then she followed up with a big knee strike as well to get a near fall. You get Fatal Influence getting involved. First is Fallon Henley, who grabs the NXT Women's Championship, but Blake Monroe takes her out at ringside. Eventually, JC Jane gets the title in the ring, but Jordynne Grace is able to stop her and rolls her up. She then hits her with a back fist. Then you get Jasmine Nix picks up the title, but Blake Monroe stops her and takes the title from her. Then you get Henley on the other side of the ring. She distracts the referee for a long time, allowing Jane to whip Grace into the ropes, where, of course, Blake Monroe blasts Jordynne Grace in the back with the NXT Women's Championship. And then the rolling encore, the discus punch by JC Jane gives her the victory here to retain the NXT Women's Championship. Fatal Influence were all surprised about Blake Monroe doing what she did, and they kind of give her the weird look as she hands the title over to JC Jane. And we see that Jordynne Grace was busted open towards the end of this matchup because she had a bloody nose on the other side of the ring, as Blake Monroe has revealed herself to still be Mariah May. The match itself, I give like 2.5 stars. It was fine. I didn't think it was like one of the better matches on the show, and it's not something I wouldn't see on NXT. But I'm very annoyed by how telegraphed they made that heel turn. It was like the antithesis of what we saw in AEW, where they built up Mariah May turning heel for 8 months and let it tell a story. Instead, here they gave us the fast food version of it. 5 weeks, she goes from not really a babyface, a cocky, the glamour girl, into heel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I don't necessarily. Sometimes I think NXT has like a babyface and heel problem because there aren't a ton of like. They flipped Kalani Jordan, right? So like so what happens now? Like even if she beats JC Jane, then there's the Jordynne Grace program. Okay, fair. But then after that, I don't know what happens next. But I guess enjoy the ride, okay? It doesn't matter what happens next.
Just be a fan.
Everything makes sense if you don't think about it that hard. It was my favorite thing ever. I remember Pat McAfee saying it on commentary. I wrote it down on a piece of paper in this office. I wrote, everything makes sense if you don't think about it that hard. And like, yeah, it's true. It does. There you go. That's big brain activity is what that is. You know, just don't think, and then everything makes sense. But yeah, I don't know what I thought was going to happen. I thought that they maybe would go like, hey, these girls are kind of cute together, so we should sell some t-shirts first. Like, I don't know. I kind of thought they would just drag it out a bit. But do you think that one or the other is not staying in NXT very much longer?
I think they're going to do a program with Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe for a while. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they can do like a triple threat with Grace, Monroe, and Jane, and that's how you get the title on Monroe. I think that Monroe and Grace, that feels like your main title program, not something you should do like non-title. So I think that we're probably going towards like a triple threat.
Yeah. There we go. When is this draft happening?
I think they forgot.
Maybe forgot. You know who hasn't forgot? The people who have to write the damn list about who's getting caught up. Okay. We will never forget. So
no, we're scarred. We have to think of new people every time.
I feel like I manifested Haku because coming out at WrestleMania, just because I ran out of entries over and over, and I just kept putting Haku, and then he came out, and I was like, I did it! I got Haku out! I felt really proud of myself. So yeah, I'll keep trying to figure out who's getting drafted and when. Nobody knows. Muscle Muffin was such a cute name. Oh, you put it in front. Yes. Oh, that's not nice. I mean, I wouldn't want them. I do think that I wouldn't want them to have made that super long and then it run the risk of feeling like they were just doing Timu Tony Storm, you know?
Yeah.
So I guess I get the theory behind making it a fast heel turn. Yeah, so that's exciting. NXT is always exciting. It was fun to see them get a showcase on this card in particular. Yeah, so good.
Yeah,
it was fine, solid.
They got the headline Great American Bash, and then they get the big moment here where they kind of gave us something to look forward to on NXT moving forward. So I get that. I just don't think the storytelling was very well done here, and it was very telegraphed.
Yeah, it was super predictable. If you have watched this at all in the last month, I would say that it was pretty clear what was going to happen. But sometimes I forget they're not making a show for the people who watch it every single week. It is for my best friend and her husband who they're pretty ardent followers, but there also will be we went to the Bahamas for 3 weeks. And so then they come back and they don't always have to catch up because they are able to get a recap. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, fair enough.
No, that makes sense. That does make sense. And then you had the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships up for grabs in a fatal four-way. It was the Judgment Days, Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez defending against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, Asuka and Kairi Sane, and Sol Ruca and Zarya. Big reaction for Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair got kind of a mixed reaction, kind of like a John Cena reaction of boos and cheers. And then when Alexa comes out, they get nothing but cheers in this one. Asuka and Kairi, they started things off and they started double teaming Perez until Rodriguez tagged in and she started to dominate. At that point, we got what the match would be all about, because the fans started loudly out of nowhere cheering, "We won Charlotte! Bum, 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 bum. We won Charlotte!" Eventually, Alexa Bliss makes the hot tag to Charlotte, and this place goes wild. Charlotte comes in, and this is the best that Charlotte Flair has looked since her return, pretty much. She went crazy in this. She's hitting the spear. She's hitting big moves all around the ring. The big boot in the corner. Spear for a near fall on Roxanne Perez. Rodriguez comes in and she delivers a big boot to Charlotte, putting her down for a bit. Asuka and Zayn got their turn to shine next, but Zarya broke up that and broke up Kairi's cover on Roxanne. Zarya tags herself in and then hit both Kabuki Warriors with a vertical suplex. Charlotte broke up the cover. Then you get Sol Ruca, who basically hits the most ridiculous looking soul snatcher that popped the crowd huge. Moments later, you get Sol Ruca. They get a nice exchange with Alexa Bliss, where Alexa goes for the Sister Abigail DDT, but they're able to reverse it. Then they're double teaming Alexa, and it looks like a spear is coming, but Charlotte pulls Alexa to safety, and Zarya spears Sol Ruca. Rodriguez then comes through. She power bombs Bliss over the top rope onto all the other ladies on the outside and takes advantage of the spear to Sol Ruca to deliver the Tejada bomb for the 1-2-3. The Judgment Day retained the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships in what I thought was a really fun matchup. This one, I feel out of all the matches, this is one that could have gone 5 more minutes, and I would have enjoyed it all the same. As far as my phrase at the beginning of this review of over-delivered, this is the match that defines over-delivered, because I had low expectations and they exceeded it. What did you think?
Absolutely. I think there was a lot of opportunity for each individual team to progress their own character stories, but without actually having, you don't need a title change for that to happen. But I think that coming out of that match, there's a lot stronger, both fan connection, but also a much more interesting perspective on Alexa and Charlotte, because they did have a fun dynamic that I don't necessarily know that I had expected to be the direction of their duo. I thought it would probably, someone in the chat said that that's what we want from Charlotte, is to be on side quests. And I think that's 100% the case. She is someone that we've already seen dominate and already seen have all these accolades, and now this is like that kind of almost like Randy Orton-esque side quest time where there's all these kind of other fun things that she can be doing, and it doesn't mean that we won't get back around to a title shot in the future, but I enjoyed their tag team a lot more than I thought it would. I honestly was like, is this just two characters they don't know what the hell to do with, so they're gonna stick them together? Because sometimes that's the case. But yeah, I do think is getting over. I think it'll be fun and actually a lot more intriguing of a dynamic to see Raquel and Roxanne potentially still feuding with them, because it's fun to it's dumb, it's a trope, but it was fun when Alexa Bliss did it with Nia Jax. It's fun when Alexa Bliss has a giant friend because she's a little tiny gal. And I feel like Charlotte is by no stretch of the imagination a large woman, but because she just is so much taller than her, they visually looked like a fun team that I want to see do more things together. So yeah, that's a good idea. Frankly, I didn't think that I understood where that was going at all, but I still secretly want Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss to have a tag team again, though. So I don't know like what I want out of all this. But yeah, there was like an inadvertent spear where accidentally Zarya took out Soul, which is kind of a good tease for like, you know, people who watch NXT, but also just to see what happens with that moving forward. They're doing an interesting job of making the dynamic between Raquel and Roxanne not so mutual, I guess. Like, it's clear Raquel's a little irritated by her. They like in their walk-in, it was very like kind of over exaggerated, like, ew, you're annoying me, go away. But that the way that plays out in the future, so they still won and they proved themselves as a team, but I wonder if Raquel feels that way or not, because even by the end, it was kind of like they weren't new besties necessarily. But yeah, the side quests. I do think that Charlotte maybe is so. I think it's a character that fans want to cheer for, but they don't want to cheer for her at the expense of their other favorites. And so that's something you can do differently when you're in a tag team. Yeah, I like this match. I do think it over-delivered. I love the Kabuki Warriors back together. I don't think I'm ever going to forget Wade when they did their entrance. He said, what's better than pirates? What's better than princesses? Putting them together, even better. He like had the weirdest thing to say. And it was one of those moments where I was like, oh yeah, they're scared of the internet. Like that's whatever the puppy said, or like whatever he was meant to add. It was just rambling about pirate princesses. But I do think I would like to see a solid program, I would think, between Judgment Day and the Kabuki Warriors. I guess if they're I have a hard time with the tag team, the women's tag team titles being floating across brands, because it doesn't actually Judgment Day. I mean, like Raquel and Roxanne, I wouldn't expect them to be on SmackDown every week. So then it makes it seem like if there's a SmackDown team, what's the point? I don't know. They'll sort it out. Enjoy the ride, Amanda.
I think we've just been burned too many times with the women's tag team division. Like, we want the best for it, but they've gotten our hopes up so many times. And like more recently, it was Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, where you're like, oh, they're two top stars. They wouldn't neglect the tag team titles. Oh, here's the spooky girls from Scotland. Let's give them the titles. Like. Right. It's like really, like you can't push Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, two superheroes together, couldn't get you to pay attention to these titles.
Yeah. So I think they're just forever gonna be the oh yeah, that's there. Oh yeah, we don't have nothing for them. They can be a tag team. You made a good point with the story development. Everybody has a story moving forward. Whether it's like the Kabuki Warriors now being back together, then they're going to be on Raw with Judgment Day, so they can continue the feud there. You have the Roxanne and Raquel kind of dynamic where she's you're right. Like Raquel is very apprehensive to Roxanne because she wants Liv back because that's her friend. Then you got the Zaruka with Zarya once again. This is the second time in like 3 weeks that she speared Soul in a matchup that
cost them the win. And then it's Charlotte actually having some character development. That save that she made for Alexa is like the first bit of character work that wasn't, I'm Charlotte Flair, I'm the queen, I need a championship in like 10 years.
Yeah. I think that someone's fighting with grandma out here. I could just hear it. I heard a no. I think that Players Tribune article also maybe helped in some aspects to, at least like with the fans that are connected to that, are kind of plugged into that discourse online, in that Charlotte Flair has become accidentally two-dimensional, and I think having her interface with like having a little friend could be a fun way to see that development that we don't always get to see. She's just, I am the best.
I'm the best. Give me title.
I am best. Give me title. Yeah. Boom.
Then we had the WWE Women's Championship up for grabs, as it was Tiffany Stratton going one-on-one with her mentor, her hero, Trish Stratus. This is one I have to comment on the gear. Stratus had one of the best gears of the night, the white gear with the gold lining, where the commentary pointed out it was in the shape of the first ever women's championship. They got the big time kind of intros for this matchup here. This one was one of the shorter matches on the show. I think that's like one of my main nitpicks for this one. But other than that, I thought these two ladies worked really well with each other. You get Stratus, who hits Stratosphere off the apron, then Tiffy hit the mat very hard on the outside. She then followed up with a tornado DDT in the ring for a 2 count. Stratton went on offense and then hit a vertical suplex into a backstabber, the end of Heartache. I see Tiffany's been watching some old Ring of Honor. Then you get Stratton, who followed up with a senton bomb, where she got a bunch of height on that one. And then they traded counters until Trish hit the chick kick. She hits the Stratisfaction for a 2 count at one point. She tries to go for Stratisfaction off the top rope, but Tiffy is able to get away from it. Eventually, she goes for prettiest moonsault ever, but Trish was able to get her knees up on that one. Then Trish busts out the moonsault of her own, paying tribute to Team Bestie with Lita, but Stratton is able to get her knees up. Then Stratton hits a chick kick of her own. She hits the Alabama Slam, and she finishes off Trish with the prettiest moonsault ever to pick up the win and retain the WWE Women's Championship. Trish, after the matchup, she gets a big standing ovation. It wasn't her retirement matchup, but the standing ovation at the end kind of made it feel like it, but I don't think Trish is ready to retire because she looked good here. I thought she looked good. I thought Tiffany busted out some new moves, but I think they both look good in this one. But I think Trish kind of looked better because, you know, we don't expect her to be this good still after having so many months and years off from the ring, but she still always delivers. It seems like she had a rough time before the steel cage matchup back in 2023, but I think after that, and every time she's been back since, she's looked good, and she looked good in this one. So I gave the tag team title match 3.5 stars. I gave this 3.25. What did you think, Amanda?
I mean, I think that's fair. I think they sort of over-delivered as well. I don't know what I expected. I almost thought it would be even a little shorter. So then when they're like, I don't know. I like it when, if someone is going to come back to have a match, I would like them to be able to feel as prepared as they need to be to do an excellent job. And I think that was what we saw in this match, because Trish seemed empowered to do spots or to take chances that you could not have done unless you had really dedicatedly gone back in and done a lot of work on it. Because when you do take all that time off, right? Like I think it probably, please don't get me wrong, never touched a ring in my life, so I have no clue. But I would imagine that it would be something that you would want to kind of go over and be able to get back into, even if it's like riding a bike and you can definitely do it. It still requires preparation. And she seemed to have the confidence of someone who had been preparing well. And that is almost, I don't know how long this match has been planned for. Like if it was something that was always planning to happen, it almost felt like the build was a little brief. Like they had to come up with something different because there was no Liv and Nikki Bella. Like I feel like that was maybe meant to be a little bit more of a marquee spot on the card, and because that went away. So if this is what Trish can do after being told even a month in advance, like, hey, you're going to have a singles match with like, and not that Tiffany's inexperienced because she's not, but it's also not with a Bayley. It's not with a Becky. It's not, you know, it's a different performer. And she's definitely been in a tag team with her before, but it felt like I wonder if I always think back of that Ronda Rousey's critique. I think about this a lot, that she said once in some kind of interview somewhere, and I'm paraphrasing, but that she felt that if she had had the time to individually prepare that Logan Paul does, her run and her in-ring work would have been very different. And that she probably, you know, like I think in her perception could have done better type of a thing. This is one of those instances where you're like, no, yeah, she got the time to train. Like she was able to, like she probably knew, okay, we're gonna do these spots and we're gonna practice them together. And because there's no way that you do the stuff on the apron, the stuff on the ground, like that's not something that I don't think the two of them just went out there and like could call it. They definitely had done a lot of preparation and it looked good. And that's what I think you can see when you have that kind of time to do that.
I just wish it would have went longer. It went 8 minutes 37 seconds. Like if it goes longer, I think it's an even better matchup. Yeah,
I think they probably, like if there was there wasn't a lot of you know what I expected from them was, you know, when there's the two like really sexy girls and they'll do the stuff that makes it seem like there is like untoward behavior going on. But when they the rolling pins, I thought for sure there would be like a Trish and Tiffy rolling pin situation, but then like that didn't happen. I did like that they didn't. It seemed as though a lot of the spots that would normally be reserved for the male gaze were not necessarily cheaply thrown in, which I thought was kind of fun. We still got some devils. Oh man, we'll get to it soon. But that
we will. I love that. I know what you're talking about. Alundra Blaze and Leilani Kai were in the crowd. This is still a WWE show, so they couldn't only show the former wrestlers all night. So they show Metro Booming, who has the Hardcore Championship. Apparently won it from Travis Scott. And Little Yachty is also in the crowd. And then we get our no-host barred matchup. Jade Cargill one-on-one with Naomi. Right from the start, Naomi entered first and tried to attack Jade during her entrance, but Jade cut it off, and the bell rang as they were on the floor fighting. Cargill took forever to kind of set up a table at ringside. The camera cut away from Jade and focused on Naomi, who had to keep selling while Bianca was trying to talk to her to stop fighting. Cargill eventually went after Naomi, but Naomi eventually posted her, and Jade hits a spear on Naomi moments later, but Naomi gave her a bulldog on a steel chair in the ring. Naomi wrapped a chain around Cargill's face, but Jade knocked her off the ropes and wrapped the chain around her fist and punched Naomi with it. Cargill yanked a big camera from the cameraman at ringside and then just hits Naomi with it. Then she puts a garbage can over her head and hits her with a big boot as well, the pump kick as well, and knocks her down. You get Naomi rolled out of the ring, and Cargill tried to kill her by dropping a toolbox on her head, but she's able to avoid it. Naomi then eventually gets her on the outside against a random TV screen that's against the commentary table and drop kicks her into it, and we get the smoke effect that went off. A few minutes later, Naomi used a chair to shove Cargill off the apron. Cargill crashed through a table at ringside, and it looked like she was down and out. Naomi followed up with a X Factor in the ring onto a steel chair for a near fall. Naomi placed Cargill on a table and went up on the ropes, but Cargill was able to hit her with a steel chair and cut her off. Then gets on the top rope, grabs her up, and delivers Jaded off the top through a table for the 1-2-3 to win this no holds barred matchup. Post match, you see Jade basically giving Bianca Belair the side eye as she raises her hand in victory. I gave this 2.5 stars. I think that it was nice plunder, and I think they were kind of tried to be a little bit inventive with like the random TV at the commentary and her pulling off the camera. But my thing with the Jade Cargill matches that aren't clicking for me is, why does she have to get her ass kicked for most of the matchup? It's Jade Cargill. Make her destroy people. We want to see her destroy people. She shouldn't be selling this much. This is just like the Queen of the Ring tournament matches where she had to sell all the time. They're booking her like mid-2000s John Cena when she needs to be the black female Bill Goldberg. I don't understand why they keep doing this to her. And also, her matches like Psychology, where it just feels like it's like one spot into another spot and one move into another move. There's never any coherent story. I thought Naomi, she was good here. It was very physical, and she got busted open at the end here. So that was to its benefit. And I felt like this match was slightly better than the WrestleMania matchup, but I think something's not clicking right now with how WWE's booking Jade. I think Jade is as good as she's going to be, but they're not booking her properly. What do you think?
And then I also get confused because now, I mean, not confused, but I think Jade versus Tiffany then is a fun match, but is that really like the one-on-one? Like that's going to be SummerSlam. And so, yeah. Well, I think Jade is a character that does not need to have vulnerabilities. Like that's exactly what you're saying. Like the selling is okay, but I would like for them to pivot and go back to, like, I think in the beginning she was presented a little bit more like a monster. It was a little bit more like, I don't want to say the way she was presented in AEW because that feels like a weird, but kind of like where
I've been kind of saying the argument. I feel AEW booked her better than this.
I think there's like WWE, in my outside opinion, like I literally have no scoops. I know nothing about anything. It just seems that there is a scarier and murkier political dynamic that has an interface with the way that people are booked versus AEW, where they could just bring in all these jobbers, right? Because it wasn't necessarily like it was enhancement talent. It was local enhancement talent that were brought in to kind of be fed to Jade, whereas there isn't necessarily that pocket of people in WWE, but there isn't a reason why you can't have anybody who's booked for main event that week be the one that, I get confused, whatever. Maybe they don't have main event before SmackDown. Someone in the comments will let me know, I'm sure. But whatever the like dark match situation, there is no reason why a random NXT gal couldn't take a pinfall to Jade once a week for a month or two. Because where I do think we are in a strange position now is that if you want me to believe that it's going to be Jade versus Tiffany one-on-one, right, exactly, it will be boring. It runs the risk of being boring because also what do they have? What is their compelling reason to be fighting with one another? Like, I want Queen of the Ring, so I want your title. And then Tiffany's going to say what? Like there's no...
It feels like two miscast babyface against each other.
Yeah. And not in like that fun tweener anti-hero way, just like a failed to launch baby faces against one another. Yeah. So I would be surprised if that stays one-on-one, but it might. We'll see how it goes. I wonder too if this isn't a way that, because Naomi is such a strong heel, if she now, because she has the women's, spoiler alert, if we see Naomi, if you've been on the internet, I think you've been spoiled. But
if you see the thumbnail for this show, it's right there in the center.
now if we see Naomi going to Raw, I wonder if that just doesn't open the door for Jade to have a similar transformation, because she does seem almost like, I think the heelishness comes more naturally to her. I think that character iteration, like having it be more like, I hesitate to say more like AEW, but yeah, more like AEW, where it's very much cut the shit, Tony. Okay, cut the shit, Triple H. We need to figure this out. So I think, yeah, having a sassier version of Jade, because somehow, I don't know how, I think it takes creative ability to do this, that this character of Jade almost is like a victim. Like she's positioned as having been victimized and needing to seek like that revenge from getting attacked by Naomi, but there is just nothing about Jade that makes me feel like it's underdog victim. Like I think you can try to make it seem like that, but because that's not at all an emotionally resonating storyline, it just kind of like, ugh. And so maybe that's what they thought they were doing. Yeah, I don't buy Jade as an underdog though. Jade's gonna whip your ass.
It honestly feels like, despite Jade winning the 2 matches in this feud, that Naomi got way more out of this feud than Jade did.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Actually, yeah. A complete, yeah. Wow.
It's like, it's actually surprising, right?
Yeah. And that's a fairly rare example where you have a decent sized program, and that the person who actually loses consistently is the one that finds the complete character reinvention, like the complete audience support. And now you just kind of have, I imagine they have an easy road to go if you make Jade heel right now, because she can do that whole "you people" promo thing. Because genuinely, what the fuck, people? Like, oh, sorry. Oh, but like,
no, it's true heel heat. You're fine.
So, like, yeah, what the hell? Like, you people, the you people promo is just right there, because we do all love Naomi, and we all have gone bananas on Naomi, and she could still be like, what? this stalker weird lady who's like terrorized me, broke into Bianca's house. Like, you guys are all going nuts for her. You people. So yeah, it was a decent match. I love both of them. So I'm one of those where, like, if I like the talent, I'll just make up excuses and I'll be like 17 stars.
You're like, I forgive you. It wasn't the greatest, but I forgive you.
Yeah. Every match Otis has ever been in is 17 stars. I don't care what you're doing. I love it. The Creed brothers.
Give me more. Give me more.
Brutus Creed is the funniest character in all of professional wrestling, and I'll stand on that business. I know we're not here to talk about that, but that guy cracks me up. There is nothing. That guy's funny. He's out here mugging the weirdest stuff in the background of scenes. He's now, his crop tops are getting shorter. I want everyone to notice. Brutus's outfits are getting more and more ridiculous every week. So please do watch out for that. But yeah, I'll make excuses for everyone I love. So this was 17 stars. Naomi and Jade was the best match I've ever seen. I appreciated that Bianca had a brand new referee outfit. I was like, damn, you got another one? Like, you are such a legend. But the things that she does with her gear is in and of itself a entirely exceptional career, you know? Yeah. Bianca Belair is like 4 iconic people squished into one person. Like, how does she do this?
Great wrestler. She did sports ahead of that. Yeah. She could be a model and a gear maker.
Yeah. Amazing.
Everything. They did announce at this point that we're going to get a gauntlet on tonight's Raw with CM Punk, Jey Uso, LA Knight, Penta, and Braun Breaker. The winner gets a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship against Gunther at SummerSlam. Who's your pick for tonight's main event?
Like the most logical path forward just to be Braun Breaker. But I don't think that we're already trying to get to Braun Breaker and Gunther. I feel like that's...
Yeah. I think it's Punk. I think that's why they did that tease a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's interesting. I don't
as long as it's not Jey Uso again.
I'm a Jey Uso apologist. Okay. I'll just
You want to see
sit here.
Jey Uso and Gunther again?
Yeah.
How many times? How many times?
I don't care.
That'll be
I
the
don't care. It doesn't
4th
matter.
time.
It doesn't matter. He'll win again, and then I'll laugh at all of you again because every single time. No,
Luke
I don't
warned
want
me.
to.
You got some takes. Luke warned me. You got some takes.
Oh yeah, no, Luke. Oh. Okay, the only thing that I am ever good for on any of these programs is to say, like, to rattle someone like you, or okay, don't say his real name, Tempest, to like their soul, because the shit that I'll say like breaks your brain and like hurts you like a knife in the chest. You're like, are you unironically saying that Nikki Bella is the best wrestler alive? And I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I am. Clock it.
Everybody knows on this channel I'm a big Nikki Bella mark. I love doing the dance, and I do a beatbox version of her theme song as well. I'm pretty good at it. Yeah.
I'm being requested to do this dance move. And then yeah, she'll leave. It's the end of Crunchy Fruits and Vegetables. You can't go wrong.
Well, then you had the battle royal, to determine who gets a shot at Clash in Paris coming up at the beginning of September. Everyone gets an entrance, and it took about 10 minutes for everyone to get in. There was a cut to black at one moment for, I guess, the commercial break on Peacock. You got Nikki Bella entered first to a huge reaction. Stephanie Vaquer entered second to last to another big reaction, and Julia got a good reaction as well. About 8 seconds into the matchup, they just eliminate Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley in quick succession. Then you get Kalani Jordan gets tossed out, and it looks like she's about to get eliminated, but she lands on Izzy and Tatum and eventually has to make her way back to the ring by walking on her hands. She basically gets the Kofi Kingston / John Morrison spot. This got a nice reaction, but perhaps not the reaction that they expected, because I thought it would get a bigger pop. But Ivy Now went after Stephanie Vaquer, but Julia eliminated Ivy. Then we get a whole big stare down with Julia and Vaquer going at each other. Then we get the fans chanting for Nikki Bella. The crowd was quiet until Stephanie Vaquer set up Nikki for the Devil's Kiss, but Chelsea Green broke it up to big boos from this crowd. They were not happy with that. They want their Devil's Kiss. There was a silly spot though. I'm gonna be very supportive of the women's division in this review, but I am sorry. I'm gonna have to start a petition for us to ban the reverse worm, because that Maxine Dupree doing the reverse worm, I was not here for that. I was totally done with this. I was like, what? And then she convinced Natalya to do it as well. I was like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? This is not fun. This is not nice. What are we doing? Candice LeRae eliminates Maxine. You get Kalani Jordan shoved Jada Parker into Candice LeRae, and Candice LeRae is eliminated. Michael Cole called Candice LeRae Candice Michelle over and over again until Wade Barrett had to call him out for it. I was just like, man, this is a bad night for Michael. Michin and B-Fab. Michin and B-Fab eliminated Jada Parker and got huge heat for it. Please turn Jada Parker babyface, because she was one of the most over in this matchup. Jax tried eliminating Kalani Jordan, but she remained on the apron until Candice LeRae yanked Jordan out from behind for the elimination. You get Michin after being eliminated by Chelsea Green. She tries to yank Chelsea out, but Alba Fire takes her out with a tope suicida. Then you get Zelina Vega. She eliminates Julia. So we're gonna get a rematch for the Women's United States Championship at some point. Then you get Lash Legend eliminates Delina by tossing her, press slamming her out of the ring onto both Michin and B-Fab. Nikki Bella tossed out Alba Fire. You get Bella and Lola Vice. They had a moment where they were able to do their little dance, so that was nice. Little Latina love there, swiveling their hips. Piper Nevin knocks them both down. Then Nevin eliminates Lola Vice. Then you get Nikki and Vicaire. They work together to eliminate Piper Niven. You finally get Vicaire, who gets the devil's kiss on Chelsea Green, and Chelsea sold this like death. It was great, failing arms and everything. That got the biggest reaction of the matchup, and then Nikki eliminated Chelsea after a big spear, so she was out of it. Then you get Jax knocked down Nikki and did her own hip swivel. You get Jax place Nikki on the apron, but then Lash Legend, she flies in and delivers a big boot. Lash was the monster of this matchup. Jax moved and Legend booted Nikki Bella for the elimination, and Legend celebrated like this was a big deal as she did her own version of the Nikki Bella dance as well. Everybody was doing it in this matchup. You then get Vicaire and Legend. They work together to eliminate Nia Jax, so it's down to just the former NXT Women's Champion and the current NXT star. They fight for a bit and then stumble over the top rope, where Stephanie Vicaire gives her the devil's kicks on the apron and then knocks her down to the floor to win the battle royal. I thought that this was a typical WWE battle royal, but the last couple of eliminations, they were fun and got us a bit of spotlight, especially on Lash Legend, who was the MVP of this entire battle royal. You get post match, you get Stephanie McMahon. Dear God, here she goes again. She interviews Vicaire in the ring and admits she tries to speak in Spanish. Yes, she speaks Spanish, guys. Vicaire admits that doing interviews in English was hard for her. It wasn't her first language. Wrestling was her first language, which got a pop from the fans. She spoke well after that, and she thanked McMahon and every woman wrestler before her because now they could make history, and she would keep working hard and promised that they would remember her name forever. This was a great promo, very endearing, and kind of drawing that connection between her and the fan. So good showing. And Stephanie Vicaire was the best choice to win this one. Now she gets a shot at the WWE Women's World Championship coming up at Clash in Paris. Like I said, typical battle royal, but the crowd was into it, and it kind of was telling to see who the crowd was into out of this crop of women. And Lash Legend, a huge showing, a breakout showing for her. What did you think?
I think they need that. We need to figure out when this draft is happening, because I think that we can't keep having Lash and Jada and Kalani make these iconic showings on these main event spots, and then they kind of just go like Homer Simpson gif back into the hedges of NXT, because we don't get to see Lash on NXT a whole lot. I mean, like, there's a couple. I think there's some folks that just seem like they're waiting to be called up. So it was nice to get to see them in this match, because I do think Lash, Jada, and hopefully Kalani Jordan are also in that group, because I think they have all exceeded expectations in NXT, but also have a lot to contribute to what's happening right now in the main roster. Like, there's ways to integrate. It's not just a call up for a call up sake. It's like, actually, here's characters that would fit with the stories we're telling right now. And I think that's kind of important. But this battle royal was fun. I will say I absolutely was one that worked myself into a shoot. Okay, I never thought AJ Lee. Okay, sorry. I write it in every time I write an entry about her. I go, she is booked and busy. And I like list out all this crap she's doing in Hollywood, because she's literally like a producer, writer, a director, an actor. Like, she's doing stuff. I never thought AJ Lee. Oh, brother, did I think I was going to get to see Paige. And then I didn't. And I was not happy. And then, I don't know. I think that, is Paige coming back though? Why'd she just do a bunch of media where she was talking about Evolution? I literally was like, oh, of course, you must be on this show. Otherwise, why have you done 6 media appearances where you're referencing the time and location of this event? Like, this doesn't even make sense. So yeah, no, I was heartbroken with no Paige. It's okay. I'll keep the dream alive. Yeah, I don't know. If I don't get to see the Bella twins and Paige back, then that's when I turn heel. Okay. Then I'll start saying all of my hottest takes. I have no hot takes. My takes are dummy takes though, because I love trash and I'm okay with it. Like I am an unserious person. And the key to life is to know who you are, and you better know if you're unserious. And that's me, baby. I don't have I cannot talk to you about the technical abilities of Zack Sabre Jr. I can tell you that I often think about that time that Jeff Hardy was vibing during that wedding ceremony where they fully had for no real reason.
Jagged Edge.
Yes, Jagged Edge. Oh my God, I was going to say it's not Jodeci. I know it wasn't Jodeci. Tool, Jagged Edge. Like that's the stuff that sticks in my brain. I can bust out bizarre stories. Okay, so I'm so sorry. I have to say, I'm getting called away.
No worries. I understand. You gotta get to work.
So much. I really, really appreciate it. I had a great time. I loved your chat. They're very interactive. So if you guys want to fly by on bodyslam.net on a Tuesday evening, because sometimes it's just me talking to myself, I feel like.
Hey, we're gonna put the spotlight on you and let everybody know where they can follow you and tell them about bodyslam.net.
Oh no, just more like your chat is lovely and they have a lot to say. So if you watch NXT, fly by that Body Slam chat so you can chat with us too, because I got excited to see the people's names popping up so much. That doesn't always happen for us. Yeah, what I'm gonna go do now is write some lists and write them fast because I'm behind. I'm scared. But Sid is a delight. Let's talk about Sid being a delight. I don't want to talk about me. Yeah, you can find me on the Twitter machine. I don't know. I don't have good opinions. It's a lot of I love trash. you can check them out anyway.
That was the best plug ever. I don't have a lot of good opinions, but follow me.
If you follow me on Instagram, sometimes I drink too many ciders and post pictures of my activewear. So that's probably that's top two things. Terrible opinions, periodic activewear photos. So there you go. Put that on. That's a t-shirt. That's my elevator speech, right? Like, hey, work with me as a creator. I don't have any good opinions. Okay.
Don't be a stranger. Don't be a stranger.
Like my brain is gone because I'm like, Liam's gonna yell at me. Fuck. Okay.
Don't be a stranger. We want to see you soon. All right.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Take care. She is awesome. Go over and follow Amanda at Amanda Savage on the Twitter and X machine. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about the main event of WWE Evolution as it was. You get IYO SKY. She comes out, she gets a good pop from the fans in attendance, and she's going one-on-one with Rhea Ripley, who got the loudest reaction of this whole entire show here. Early on, you get IYO and Rhea. They have a feeling out process where they just getting the better of one another. You get Rhea who puts first IYO gets the better of an early exchange between the two, and then half-heartedly did her face pointing pose. Then you get Rhea who comes back and she gets the better of IYO and then does Sky's pose to some heat from the crowd, as the crowd was starting to like IYO because she looked amazing on this night. They continue to IYO continues to out-wrestle Rhea by hitting a drop kick and then an Acai moonsault. They wound up on the apron, but Ripley finally got some offense with a knee strike and then tossing Sky into the announce table. It didn't last long because IYO came back with a great-looking tornado DDT. Sky couldn't help but look enthused by hitting the move so smoothly. You get Sky followed up with a double foot stomp and then a tope suicida. She then hit a missile drop kick at another point, and then Sky did her full-on pose with the kip up and everything because she's so awesome. IYO SKY was on one in this matchup. You get Sky then hits the double knee strike in the corner for a 2 count. Ripley tried to a middle rope suplex, but Sky landed on her feet, and then Sky yanks down Rhea off the top rope with and then basically puts her onto the on the top turnbuckle. They started trading counters until Io out of nowhere hits a smooth looking poison Rana, but she's only able to get a 2 count. Sky went to the top, but Ripley was able to cut her off. She goes to the top with her and shoves her down. She then followed up with a Razor's Edge and then a sit out powerbomb for a 2 count. Io reversed a Riptide into a sleeper, but Rhea's able to back into the corner. Sky went for a springboard moonsault, but Rhea was able to duck. And then you get Sky then goes for a springboard dropkick, and she clobbers the referee. The referee is down after this. You get them. Then Rhea just snaps as after she hits a Riptide. There's no referee for Rhea, as she has the match pretty much won here after the Riptide, so she's basically screwed out of it. And this is the story of the matchup. Anything that Rhea tried, she couldn't get the victory. Like, Io got the better of every kind of counter exchange that they got, and the story going into the matchup was how Rhea cannot beat Io. So having the Riptide and having the win, but there's no referee, just made her completely snap. She goes into the crowd. They start brawling for a bit. She lays her out. She gives her another Razor's Edge, and then Io falls out of the ring. She puts her over the barricade and starts hammering her through the fans. She tries to powerbomb her off some equipment to her death, but Io's able to fight back and kick her to the floor. Io then climbs up a second equipment box and then hits a beautiful looking flying cross body with the fans chanting, "Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit" to that one. They come back after fighting through the crowd for a bit, and they come back to ringside where Io is finally able to hit the over the moonsault, but she gets the 1-2 as the referee finally wakes up after the long nap, but Io is not able to get the win as Rhea's able to kick out. Then you get Sky recovered. She hits Ripley with a sunset flip powerbomb. She again gets another near fall. The crowd is chanting for Rhea as Io goes back to the top rope. Rhea tries to fight her off and tries to go for the avalanche Riptide, but Io's able to get the better of her, and she hits a beautiful looking Spanish fly. Both women are down, and then it happens. The music of Naomi hits, and she has a bandaged up nose. She's selling her rib cage because she has decided that she is going to cash in the Money in the Bank contract. This crowd loses it. The roof blows off of this place when they realize what's going on. She officially cashes in to make this a triple threat matchup. She then clobbers Io in the head with the briefcase. She then takes care of Rhea, throwing her into the ring post. She follows up on Io and hits a split-legged moonsault. 1, 2, 3. Naomi is your new WWE Women's World Champion and totally steals the show and steals the title. Naomi and the crowd went absolutely nuts. Naomi started to get up before the referee even actually counted to 3 because she was so excited to celebrate. You get multiple replays of what happened. You get these perfect pictures like Naomi with blood still dripping from her nose from the no holds barred matchup, smiling as she looked at the WWE Women's World Championship. We get Naomi celebrating as the fans are going ballistic, and the night ends with Naomi standing tall, your new WWE Women's World Champion. First of all, this matchup, fucking outstanding. Outstanding matchup by IYO SKY and Rhea Ripley. These two ladies went out here and put on a match of the year candidate. absolutely fabulous. Like IYO SKY and Rhea Ripley are very much akin. They're like a North American female version of Will Ospreay versus Shingo Takagi from New Japan Pro Wrestling. You know, when Will Ospreay and Shingo Takagi go out there, they're going to give you the best match possible, and they're wrestling soulmates. Will's got that kind of chemistry with a lot of people, but like IYO has found her wrestling soulmate in WWE in IYO SKY, and IYO's found it in Rhea. They just know how to play off of each other so well. IYO SKY is one of the most complete workers in all of the WWE. She can do high flying, she could do technical ability, she could do submissions. She's so versatile, and she works with so many people great. It's like, it's a crime that we have had to spend all this time with not seeing IYO SKY, the best worker in this company, not work. Like this whole title reign for IYO SKY should have been so much better than what we got. She has proven herself time and time again, stolen show after show. How do you not let her wrestle every single week, or as much as like every other week after the performance she had at WrestleMania? WrestleMania, one of the greatest women's matches in WWE history, one of the best matches of the year. How did you say you see that, and this is the first time in 3 months that she's defending the title? Like, we can be frustrated about that, we can mention that, but we cannot like undersell how great this matchup was. IYO and Rhea, they told the perfect story of IYO just having the number of Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley tried everything. She did everything that she could to pick up the victory here, but she just couldn't. She just couldn't get the win over IYO SKY. So that story is still going, and they didn't properly build up to this matchup at Evolution with that story being the crust, because that's a fantastic story to tell. They weren't able to tell it properly with the 2-week build and everything. So I think that it was smart to keep that story going and to not give us the finish, despite me really feeling that if they were able to get the finish, then I'm putting this in like my matches of the year, honestly. That's how I really feel. I feel like this is a match of the year candidate for sure overall, but this is one of the best women's matches of the year. One of the best women's matches in North America ever, I would think. It's right up there with some of the greatest women's matches in WWE history. At the last Evolution, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, last woman standing. It's just as good as that. Like, this was an amazing matchup from these two ladies, with the crowd adding so much passion and emotion towards this matchup. The drama of the near falls, because it was actually a reality that IYO could still beat her. They could still continue the story in that way, that IYO was able to get the win and Rhea just can't beat her. It wouldn't have made that much sense to do that, but that's why I think that the Triple H of 2025 is not the Triple H of 2024 and 2023, where he had the Bloodline story, he had Cody finishing his story, and he gave us these well drawn out stories that culminated at the right time. He's not that in 2025. 2025, Triple H has fully accepted he is the moment merchant. He's going to give you great moments. And I think the reason why I think that Evolution is the best WWE premium live event of the year is that they gave us that one big memorable moment, and that was crowning the best character in the women's division of WWE right now, and that's Naomi. And it came at the perfect time for Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw just lost their top heel in Liv Morgan, and you get Naomi right in there, and she just fills that spot to perfection. She fills a big spot on the flagship show. I didn't even get to talk about her gear when we talked about the No Holds Bar match. She had razor blades on her gear. Razor blades on her gear. This is Naomi. I've been screaming from the mountaintop ever since the promo where she cried with Bianca Belair when she admitted that she was behind the attack on Jade Cargill. Naomi has been putting some of the best work of her entire career. She did the work when she left the company, and she was the top star for the Knockouts division in TNA. And she came back here, and she pretty much had to start from the bottom, pulled her way up, did the whole thing with the big three. Then she was the replacement for Jade Cargill as tag team champion, and her and Bianca put on good to great matches as champions. Had that fantastic matchup with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez earlier this year. Then we get the Elimination Chamber and the return of Jade Cargill and the reveal that Naomi was the one that attacked it. But the promo work that she has done since she admitted that she was behind the sneak attack has been the best stuff of her career. It's been the best stuff character-wise in the women's division. She's been the best character in the women's division all year long, and this was the big reward, the big moment that we were able to reward her for all of her hard work and everything that she has done to make people captivated in her character, in the Proceed with Caution, in just the lunacy, the lunatic ways of Naomi. My oh my, she deserved this moment. As far as the rating for the matchup, I'm considering IYO versus Rhea versus Naomi because the cash in at the end is very reminiscent of Seth Rollins coming in at WrestleMania 31, and that was a fantastic match before the Rollins inclusion. This is one of the best matches of the weekend, and that says a lot because you had Hangman Adam Page versus Jon Moxley, Texas Death Match. You had the Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland versus the Young Bucks. You had Okada and Omega. You had Timeless Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné. You had Bandito and Konosuke Takeshita. This is one of those best matches. These are in the conversation with those 5 matches right there. 4 3/4 stars. I think that if they get like 5 more minutes and we get a finish between IYO and Rhea, it's probably a 5-star matchup, but the finish at the end, I think, added to how memorable this matchup and the moment at the end when Naomi cashing in and winning is. And this is one of the more surprising cash-ins that we've gotten in a very long time. Very long time. I don't think anybody going into this one predicted that Naomi was going to cash in this matchup. Man. What a night, what a show, and what an ending to the show. Bell says, yeah, it might be in my top 5 of the weekend, not gonna lie. It is in my top 5 for the weekend. I think that the only matches that I would say is better the only matches I would say is legitimately better is 3. I would say Konosuke Takeshita and Bandito from ROH Supercard of Honor, Hangman and Moxley, Texas Death, and the Bucks versus Swerve and Ospreay. Those are only matches that are better that I gave full vote to. I gave those matches 5 stars, 5-star plus. But this is 5 3/4 stars, so it's right on par with Timeless Tony Storm versus Mercedes Moné and Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega. And there's an argument that it's better than that. Like, I think it's right in that running. It's right in that conversation with those matches for the entire weekend. And that's a testament to these ladies. It's a testament to IYO SKY, Rhea Ripley, and it's a testament to Naomi for all the hard work that she did going in, that she was able to give us a moment that stands the test of time, that will be remembered for years to come. And what a great way to end one of the best WWE premium live events of the year. We got in the chat here, we got Seth who says, let's call it the heist of evolution. We also got Davion who says, this PLE ruled. You got Will Chisholm. He says, this match was so good it can main event Stardom show. It was on this level. Josh is here in the chat. He says, this reign was mid. I mean, it's only because of the booking. Honestly. We get Chilling with Chase, who says Rhea and IYO just straight magic. They just don't know how to have anything less than a great match. They have nothing less than a great match, and they delivered yet another one. And Safet gives it 4 3/4 stars. Not gonna lie to you, and we're right on the same page. That's the same rating that I would give it. I think it's near perfection. It's one of the best women's matches of the year. The only women's matches that I would say in North America that were better this year than this is the triple threat from WrestleMania, and or right on par with this. It's a triple threat from WrestleMania, Timeless Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné from All In, and the Hollywood ending, which is the best women's match in North America this year. But it's only 3 matches that's even in the conversation in North America. Just great stuff. Great stuff. We got Chilling with Chase, who says, my favorite EO moment of her title reign after Mania, she took an Instagram photo with the belt in Arizona. Nice photo. Triple H, you're gonna pay for your crime. This is why I wouldn't allow Romeo to stand up here on this channel and try to give Triple H credit for this damn pay-per-view. This damn pay-per-view is when you're in a fucking science project, with a group project in science, and you do none of the work, and you just come up and with everybody else that did all the work, and you get an A on your project. That's what Triple H did with Evolution. He did not do jack and shit to promote this show. He did not do a good job booking it. He did not do a good job building up to it. And the women saved his damn ass. They overperformed, they over-delivered, and they delivered one of the best shows of the year for WWE. So let's hear from y'all. What did you think about WWE Evolution overall? Did you give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle? Out of 10, what did you give the show? And who was your MVP, your LVP, your match of the night, and moment of the night for me for WWE Evolution 2025 in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up from me. Out of 10, I'm gonna have to give it an 8.5. I think I would go 9 out of 10 if it was better built too. This is like a 9 out of 10 show if it just had a molecule of effort put into it. 8.5 out of 10. You know what? Nah, the ladies overperformed. And for that, I'm gonna give it a 8.5. 8.5. I think this and Elimination Chamber are the best two WWE premium live events of the year, and this show had more wrestling on it. It had more wrestling, and I think that we were so starved for a great WWE pay-per-view because we haven't had any since Elimination Chamber. WrestleMania both nights were kind of mid. Sorry. Night 2 was better than night 1, but night 2 ended with the worst match of the damn weekend. So 7 out of 10, I think, was the best I gave to night 2. And that was because of the first 4 matches. Backlash was kind of mid. Worlds Collide was fun. Then there was Worlds Collide was fun, but I wouldn't say it's like great. It's fun. It was a fun show. Money in the Bank was decent enough. Night of Champions, pretty good. This was great. This was a great show. In comparison to all the shows that we've gotten recently, this was the best of the best. And this is the best one since Elimination Chamber. I think Elimination Chamber might get the nod from a lot of y'all for best WWE PLE, but it's mostly for how the John Cena heel turn made you feel and not anything else on the show, even though it had a legitimately one of my favorite WWE matches of the year with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The Elimination Chamber for the men and the women were both really damn good, but this show top to bottom, the wrestling was better. The women worked like they had a chip on their shoulder, and this crowd was fantastic. This was a fantastic crowd on this night. In my opinion, this was the best WWE PLE of the year. We got in the chat from you guys. We got a bunch of 8.5s I'm seeing. We got an 8.5 from Gray Carter II. We got an 8.5 from Seth. Davion gives it an 8.5. Chuck Berry's is high. He says thumbs up, and he gives it a 9 out of 10. Annika says the women are the MVPs. Chase, you getting brain rot by doing too many live streams with Romeo. 7.5? You're penalizing the women for what Triple H did. We gotta grade it on its own merit. I think that, like I said, you could say the show, if it gets a molecule of creativity, it's a 9 out of 10. Easy. He says only because the build was ass, can't grade it higher, but if I don't factor build, 8 out of 10. We get Goku, who says the build was absolutely non-existent, but the show was pretty good. We get a thumbs up from Dre. He says an 8 for him. We get Goku, who says MVP, Naomi, LVP, WWE not building up the show. Yeah, I'm going to go LVP to Triple H. Triple H is the LVP of the show because he did not care about this show, didn't book the show properly, and then he was very non-committal on if we're gonna get an Evolution 3. So fuck Paul. I don't see gender Levesque. Fuck him. LVP. MVP is definitely Naomi. Naomi wrestled on the night, then cashed in. I mean, yeah, Michael Cole, and yeah, I might have to go Cole LVP. It's Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Michael Cole. That seems better. That seems legit. Then we're gonna go MVP Naomi. Match of the night easily. It's IYO and Rhea with Naomi at the end. That's the match of the night, but damn good show and a tip of the cap to the entire women's division. All we need is women's commentators, and I think we're well on our way to Evolution 3 being another one. That's Evolution 1 was one of the best shows of 2018. This is one of the best shows for WWE of 2025 for sure. We got a bunch of people giving Triple H LVP. Chuck Berry's, you ain't never lied. Triple H may be the LVP of 2025 so far. And Josh gives it an 8.25. So thank y'all. And don't worry, y'all. I'm going to make this one quick because we got to also talk about WWE Saturday night's main event from Saturday night in Atlanta, Georgia. I know everybody's like, no, we're on a high from Evolution. Don't remind us that this show was the day before. It's in the title, guys. It's in the title. The show kicked off with the traditional footage of wrestlers arriving at the building. We see Seth Rollins, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, Goldberg, Gunther all showing up. You get Randy Orton to kick off the show as Orton enters with good old Jelly Roll, my main Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll, you ain't nothing but a liar when you catch me with the fire. And Drew McIntyre, he comes out with Logan Paul. Not as enthused about that one. This one, you get these two guys just don't plain like each other right from the start as they start brawling with one another. You get Orton coming back. We get a good brawl between the two as they fight to the ringside area. You get Drew putting down Orton and then doing his pose. You get right into the commercial break as they start fighting on the floor. Orton doing his back suplexes onto the announce table. You get the Hangman's DDT. Then Orton was able to recover after the commercial break, makes his comeback. He hits the Hangman's DDT and he sets up for the RKO, but Logan Paul provides a distraction as Drew McIntyre is able to hit the Claymore on Orton. But on the outside, you get Jelly Roll arguing with Logan Paul in a war of words that ended up with Jelly Roll shoving Paul to the ground. That aggravated McIntyre long enough for Orton to take advantage. Orton's able to come from behind. He hits the RKO on Drew McIntyre to pick up the victory here. Then post-match, you get Logan Paul. He jumps Orton from behind, beating him down until Jelly Roll comes in to make the save for his good friend Randy Orton. He punches Logan Paul right in the mouth, punches his lights out basically, and then tosses him out. Meanwhile, you get Drew McIntyre while Jelly Roll is checking on Orton. He gets blasted with the Claymore from Drew McIntyre, laying out the singer. Drew starts talking trash to Jelly Roll as Logan Paul is able to recover and both men leave together. Officials yelled at both men as medics checked on Jelly Roll. This matchup was pretty run of the mill. Nothing to write home about. It's like a regular TV matchup. 3 stars? It was fine, but Nothing really. Orton and Drew, they had some great matches in 2020, but between this match and the SmackDown match, it seems like when they're on TV, they're not going to give us much of an effort. They're not going to give us anything close to those 2020 matches. And unfortunately, this whole thing is going to continue. The GM start yelling at Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre backstage, and then later in the show we hear from Randy Orton and Jelly Roll backstage. They say that Jelly Roll says, Orton feels bad for putting Jelly Roll in harm's way, and then Jelly Roll says that he wants revenge. He says he wants both Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam in a tag team matchup with Randy Orton. And Randy Orton says, yeah, he's down to team up with them. And he says that their team could be RK Roll. I'm sure this is from somebody out here. I'm sure. It's not for me. It's not for me. Definitely not for me. No. This happened. It happened. Drew McIntyre went from the best feud of 2024 to Triple H and WWE not giving a damn about anything he does in 2025. How he was eliminated from the Royal Rumble, the whole build with him and Damian Priest, and now he gets Jelly Roll at SummerSlam. Drew McIntyre don't deserve this. Come on, man. Dion Jenkins says, I feel like Drew and Randy are in a position where they could reject this tag match at SummerSlam. He also says Drew should have won. Annika says, for this feud, that was a highlight of the pandemic. They should have done more in the story. Chilling with Jay says, watching Saturday Night's Main Event after All In was like after a night out and you're drunk home watching a movie and you're like, why am I watching this? Yes. Definitely. He says, Jelly getting more build than the woman at Revolution. Oh my God. You know what? You're right. When you're right, you're right. You're right. After this, all the women are in the crowd because they're going to work the next night. We see IYO SKY and Rhea Ripley are in the crowd before their matchup at Evolution. Then we see Jade Cargill in the crowd, but she's immediately attacked out of nowhere from Naomi. The fight spilled over the barricade as the two women have a standoff and security separates the two. Eventually, Nick Aldis gets on the microphone and he announces that their no-holds-barred matchup needs a special guest referee, and it's none other than Bianca Belair. Yes, because this show did not have any women on it. They had to do an angle to set up the next night instead of a match because they couldn't waste time on a matchup for the women. No, we got to do an angle because we have to have some women on this show despite them having the all-women's pay-per-view. No, you can do both. You can have a match and this angle on this damn show instead of 2 hours of commercials. See, Evolution was like, oh, this is why you should like WWE, and Saturday Night's Main Event is why you should hate it. Jimmy Uso was next out. He's going up against Solo Sikoa. You get the Jimmy Uso who's putting a strong effort against Solo here. He had the Bloodline or the MFT in his corner. Sikoa joined Jimmy on the outside. They started trading blows. Uso went up top, but Sikoa caught him and hits the spinning solo on him. Sikoa sent Uso to the outside where a waiting Tongan hits him with a clothesline. Sikoa was in control. He hoisted up Jimmy on the ring apron, but Jimmy was able to block it and hit Sikoa with a super kick. Uso hits a crossbody off the top rope for a 2 count. Uso went to the opposite top turnbuckle and hits the Uso splash, but Solo's able to kick out at 2. The MFTs wandered around the outside of the ring as Sikoa staggered to his feet. Uso went for a spear, but Sikoa caught him and set him up for the Samoan spike. Uso was able to dodge it and hits a couple of super kicks, and then he goes up to the top rope, but Solo rolled out of the ring. Uso hits a moonsault onto Sikoa and the MFTs while the crowd chanted things that caused the sound to be muted. Tala Tonga tried to get involved, but Uso was able to kick him in the face about it. But then Solo rolls up Jimmy, and Tala Tonga puts his boot on Solo's ass to give him leverage for the 1-2-3. The MFTs get into the ring and they jump Jimmy post-match. They eventually get him cornered until Jacob Fatu makes his return. He comes out and he arrives. Tala Tonga gets the better of Jacob and hits him with the big boot, but Jacob flings him out of the ring, and then he hits a big dive onto the MFTs to stand tall in the ring with Jimmy. Another perfectly fine matchup. Another 2 3/4 stars, slightly less than Randy and Drew. At least that was a little bit exciting because the crowd was into it. The crowd was lesser into this than Drew and Randy, but I thought that they were into kind of getting heat on Solo and the MFTs, and then they reacted big to Jacob Fatu. They view Jacob Fatu as an absolute star for good reason, because he is one. So, fine. Just fine. Perfectly fine. Then we had the Jelly Roll and Randy Orton promo backstage. Then we get Seth freaking Rollins one-on-one with LA Knight. Yeah, this came off the heels of the Money in the Bank and everything that's gone on in the week since then. Rollins taunted Knight off the top rope, which backfired when Knight ran him into the corner. Rollins came back swinging, though, and the two started trading shots. Knight sent him to the outside and then followed with the drop kick. Knight grabbed Rollins and began bouncing his head off the announce table. Then Knight, in full control, threw Rollins across the table one more time for good measure as we go to commercial break. Rollins had Knight in a body scissors in the middle of the ring. Knight powered out with a back elbows, and eventually Rollins is able to hoist him up for a backbreaker, and then he followed up with a frog splash for a 2. Rollins went for a curb stomp, but Knight was able to dodge out the way. Knight became pummeling and got his comeback in on Rollins for a bit here. Eventually, Rollins is able to super kick Knight, and then he goes for a springboard senton on one side of the ring, and then he tries to follow up with basically a lion salt. LA Knight moves out the way, so Seth lands on his feet, and apparently appears like he hurts his knee. So the referee holds back Knight. We get a medic coming over, entering the ring to check on Rollins. You get Paul Heyman checking on Rollins as well. He's talking to the doctor. Eventually, they take the camera off of him, and apparently, I guess Seth says he can keep going. He limps over to LA Knight. LA Knight hits him with the BFT, 1-2-3 for the kick win. This match was going well and probably would have been the match of the night, but the Seth injury, and it seems like we're getting conflicting reports still. Like Dave Meltzer said he's heard from people, and John Pollock says they've heard from people that said that this was planned since Thursday, but Seth is injured. He is hurt right now, but this was more of like an angle to set up that he was hurt and to write him off. I don't know if that's the case. This seems like a freak accident, and why would you kind of, if he's able to perform and have a matchup, I would think that you could just keep him out the ring and continue having him on TV moving forward. But it's unfortunate because Seth was so important to the Raw main event scene. He's the top heel, the leader of the top faction. He's Mr. Money in the Bank. He was going to be World Heavyweight Champion, and now he seems like he's going to be out for a while. And Triple H said on the post-media scrum for Evolution that it's bad. So, not looking good. Not looking good at all. Yeah, exactly. I would at least get him to SummerSlam where Roman Reigns could like beat him with a spear in like 10 seconds and then write him off after that. But tough. Yeah, I'm praying for Seth, man, that it isn't that bad and he isn't going to be out for months, but it did not look good how he got hurt here. It was a nice match up until then, so I gave it 3 stars, but definitely unfortunate that it got cut away like that. And then finally, it was time for the main event, Goldberg's retirement matchup, going up against Gunther. Goldberg made his way to the ring in his traditional fashion, minus the headbutt concussion. The crowd was absolutely hot for this, as they were chanting Goldberg from the minute they saw him backstage. You get head of security Doug Dillinger's with him, Josh Barnett, Ernest the Cat Miller, and Gage Goldberg, son of Goldberg, are all with him as he walks through the backstage area. We get the big time intros for both men from Lillian Garcia. Goldberg took a moment to take in the crowd chanting for him. Goldberg shoved Gunther to the mat and surprising the champion. Gunther put a boot in Goldberg's stomach and then bounced him off for a shoulder, but Goldberg basically no-sold him. Gunther began chopping Goldberg, but Goldberg just smiled at him like, that doesn't faze me. Goldberg sent Gunther into the corner and started kicking and punching at him. He whipped him out of the corner and clotheslined him and set up for the jackhammer. Gunther was able to punch his way out. Goldberg starts beginning to favor his knee, so Gunther goes after it. Gunther goes to the top rope, but Goldberg grabs him and tosses him off in the ring, crouching for a spear. Gunther saw it coming, so he rolls out of the ring. Goldberg followed, and he tries to go for a spear on the outside, but he collides and runs through the barricade. Back from commercial break, Gunther is working over the knee of Goldberg, stretching him in the middle of the ring. Goldberg threw a flurry of punches to get out of it. The two start trading chops for a bit until Goldberg's knee gave out and he fell to the mat. Gunther started bullying Goldberg and talking smack and pie-facing him. This led to Goldberg hitting a big spine buster out of nowhere. In the corner, Goldberg started raining down punches. Gunther seized the opportunity and attacked. Goldberg hits a back body drop and sets up for the spear, but Gunther moves out the way and Goldberg collides into referee Charles Robinson. Gunther took advantage of the lack of adult supervision and wraps Goldberg's leg around the ropes and pulls his knee brace off and starts retching at it and hitting it with the brace. Goldberg staggers to his feet and then Gunther hits him in the head with the brace as well. Gunther notices Gage Goldberg at ringside and starts jawing with him just like Bad Blood. Gage hopped the railing and security put him back. Gunther climbed back into the ring just in time for Goldberg to hit a spear out of nowhere. Grabbing Gunther by the neck, we get one last jackhammer from Goldberg despite the knee issues, but he's not able to get the cover and there's no referee. Eventually, a new referee comes down. Goldberg's able to get across Gunther, but Gunther kicks out at 2. Gunther then immediately locks on a sleeper. Goldberg refuses to tap out. He tries to power out, but he just couldn't. And then finally, Goldberg passes out. The referee calls for the bell. Gunther retains the World Heavyweight Championship, and Goldberg is retired. After the matchup, you get Goldberg was surrounded by friends and family as we come back from commercial break. We come back from commercial break at like 9:59 or something, like almost 10. He grabbed the mic and he thanked them all. He said he loved the fans and thanked them too. And the show cuts off prematurely at that. We did get a full version of his farewell speech on YouTube, so you're able to watch it now. And Goldberg had a touching speech talking about treat everybody, no matter who they are, no matter what religion, no matter what race, treat everybody with respect and dignity. He thanks his son, he thanks his wife, he thanks everyone that's in the ring with him. Nice touching moment. Even Cody comes out and thanks Goldberg for what he did and how much he represents Georgia and Atlanta. So after the show, a fitting way to close out, but WWE didn't do much to make you excited for this Goldberg retirement going into the show. And then they completely botched the final 40 minutes of the show. Like Josh is saying in the chat, Fightful Select confirmed a couple of things about the Seth Rollins injury, that LA Knight winning wasn't even planned and that Seth was supposed to win the matchup. And this completely made everything shuffle around in the final 40 minutes of the show. Like everything was shuffled around ridiculously. So It's unfortunate that Goldberg's retirement was kind of the biggest victim of all of that, but WWE didn't do much to make me excited. And this was Goldberg's longest match since 2003. 22 years between this match and his last longest matchup. Insanity. I did not think it was going to go this long, but it was perfectly fine. It was decent. It was decent enough. Goldberg gave us what we expect from him. I thought they told a good story around the knee injury of Goldberg, and Gunther is one of the best workers in the company, and he was able to sell it well and made Goldberg feel like a monster, feel like a beast throughout. So good work on his part, good work on Goldberg's part. The only unfortunate part is that we didn't get the farewell speech, and WWE's timing was completely off. But the match itself, 3 stars. This show, though, let's talk about it. Guys, let me know in the chat, what was your match of the night from Saturday night's main event, your MVP, your LVP, moment of the night, and thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. Out of 10, what did you give the show? For me, for Saturday night's main event, in 3, 2, 1. This show sucked. I'm just going to say it, especially in comparison to Evolution. Even NXT Great American Bash was better than this. This was awful. This was not good. Fine matches, nothing you wouldn't see, not on TV. Most of what you see on Monday night, Friday night, Tuesday night was better than this. Like, if you didn't watch it, don't waste your time. Not worth your time. Not worth your time. Unless you're a big Goldberg fan. That's the only reason. Out of 10, you know what? For Goldberg's retirement, I'll give it 4.5. 4.5. 4.5 out of 10. This is one of the worst rated shows that I'm probably going to do all year long. And I reviewed Triple Mania. I got treated like I said a war crime from Romeo in our chat. If Josh still in the chat, he could attest. I got treated like I was saying a war crime when I said nothing happened on this show. Don't seem like much of y'all are arguing with me, so y'all probably feel the same. Nothing happened on this show. This show was worthless. WWE didn't even fucking try. Didn't even fucking try. They were just, hey, we got to put something out there to be on the same day as AEW, so here it is. Nothing happened except for Seth Rollins getting injured, set up for a singer wrestling at SummerSlam, and Goldberg's retirement. 4.5 out of 10. Match of the night, Goldberg versus Gunther. I gave like 2-3 matches, three stars. So Goldberg versus Gunther, because that was better than I thought it would be and longer than I thought it would be. MVP for the show, Goldberg. Put an effort in. Goldberg. LVP for the show, Triple H and WWE in general, because this was worthless. And moment of the night, Jelly Roll getting kicked in the head. Yeah. That was Saturday night's main event. So let me know what you thought in the live chat, in the comments down below. Seems like everybody's in agreement with me. We got Gunther with MVP for Chase. Chase gives the show a 3 out of 10. Gray Carter, the second, gives it a 4 out of 10. Josh gives it a 3 out of 10. We got Cyclops is better than Wolverine. Says Saturday night's main event is a glorified house show, but less fun. House shows are much more fun than this. You got Chilling with Jace. It says moment of the night, Goldberg's jackhammer. It wasn't the best, but happy he did it. Josh says 4.5, very generous. I'm trying my best. 4.5. Chilling with Chase says Gunther versus Goldberg for match of the night. Annika says they won't listen, but please stop doing this, WWE, especially with special stuff like Evolution and Goldberg's last match. Stupid. Yeah, thank you, Josh. Romeo got so upset at me for saying that nothing happened. Yet he didn't have a good argument. He's like, they did the Jelly Roll angle? Goldberg retirement match? Nothing happened. We got Chilling with Jace. We got Cyclops better than Wolverine. Says I can't even remember any other matches. To be honest, I don't blame you. Match of the night from Greg Carter. It says Goldberg versus NBC, MVP Gunther, LVP WWE. You guys say it better than me. Thank you. Because I got made to feel like I was saying something wrong when I said nothing happened on this show. But I thank y'all for keeping it real. But that was Saturday night's main event and WWE Evolution. I want to thank you guys for a wonderful all-in week. You guys have been amazing with all the content we did this week, from Rated Raw review last Tuesday, our WWE Saturday night's main event, NXT Great American Bash and Evolution preview with Cresta and Kate. That was awesome, and I appreciate all the support, all the feedback that I got for that one. Also, you had AE Ramble with me and Jimmy from last Thursday, All in Texas preview of myself, Maggie, J News, and Top Guy JJ. The Saturday, all three streams did really well with True Hill Heat Flagship Podcast, with Josh's epic rant, as well as Top Guy JJ was with us. You had the watch along for All in Texas, which has over 2,000 views, with Romeo and the Around the Point fellas. You had the Saturday night's main event watch along with Romeo and Drunk Guy JJ, our All in Texas review. Thank you so much to everyone who gave us the feedback for that. That was a great time with Josh and Professor Chris, and also Top Guy JJ joined us. Our Evolution watch party last night with the Around the Point fellas, as well as Romeo. And then today, thank you to Amanda Savage for joining us today. And check out all the great content from this week, whether it be our True Hill Heat 337 with myself, True Jaw Josh, and Top Guy JJ talking all about last week in pro wrestling. And like I said, check out Josh's rant. One of the best in True Hill Heat history. So go over and check that out. And check out our All in Texas review from yesterday. One of our longest pay-per-view roundtable reviews that we've ever done. So what a great time it was to talk about a 6-hour show, a historic show in more ways than one. But that has been the wrap up for All In Week. And I agree with Cyclops is better than Wolverine. We should all be Maggie guys. Indeed. But yes, this has been our WWE Evolution and Saturday night's main event review. Thank you so much to Amanda Savage for joining us today. And thank you so much to all of you for all the support. Remember to drop the thumbs up, like this video, share this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you are new. And of course, you can follow me on the Twitter machine at True Hill SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. I'll be here tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern time with Rated Raw review with Romeo, talking all about tonight's Monday Night Raw. And we'll also be dropping tomorrow evening our NXT Great American Bash review before Tuesday night show. So you can all check out my thoughts on that show as well. So I recapped everything from this week at patreon.com/Trio Heat. I'll be also dropping our ROH Supercard of Honor review over there. The content never sleeps. We just finished All In Week and a new week begins, because we got G1 Climax preview on Wednesday. We got Slammiversary preview on Friday. We got AE Ramble on Thursday, the flagship podcast on Saturday. Never sleeps. So subscribe if you are new. But for Amanda Savage, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our WWE Evolution and Saturday night's main event review. We are signing off until